Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is the story about what if Naruto was Tobirama's grandson and had ice release. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and like the video as well. So without any further ado, let's start the what if. It was a time for celebration. Naruto and his friends had finally graduated and were on their way to Yakiniku-Q, Konoha's finest barbecue restaurant. The 9 rookie genins were chatting amongst each other as they walked, happy and excited for their future as Konoha shinobis. But the blonde Senju was still troubled. Why was Mizuki desperately trying to sabotage his exams? And why was his emotions so incredibly hostile towards him? Naruto had felt many negative emotions among the villagers that were still prejudiced against him, but they were never as dark and full of malice as the white-haired Chunins. He was also wondering about the blonde girl that ran past him earlier. And why was Mizuki's chakra signature following hers? Something wasn't right, he just knows it. Naruto-kun? Are you okay? Ino asked her deep-thinking boyfriend. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking. Naruto answered honestly. About what, Dobe? Sasuke asked his Senju best friend, despite the nickname. Well, do any of you guys know the girl that ran past us earlier? Naruto asked all his friends. Girl? What does she look like? Choji asked. Well, she has light blonde hair that is tied in a loose ponytail, with some strands sticking out. She was also wearing swirl-tinted glasses. And I think she's from our class. Ring any bells? Naruto asked, as he tries recall all the little details he knows about the girl. I think the girl you are describing is Shiho, Naruto-kun, Sakura answered her blonde crush. Shiho? Naruto asked his pink-haired friend. Yeah. She's a very quiet girl in class, but she is actually super smart. Especially when it comes to code breaking. Sakura added in, trying to recall all she knows about Naruto's mystery girl. Why are you asking about her all of a sudden, Naruto-kun? Ino asked, with a slight jealous tone. When she ran past us earlier, I think she was crying. I don't think she passed the exam. Naruto answered sadly. Oh man, that sucks. Kiba added in with a sad tone. Yeah. And I guess it bothers me so much, that it is hard for me to have a celebrating mood right now. Especially when I know someone else is having a hard time. Naruto says truthfully. You are a very kind person, Naruto-san. You have always been kind to those in need. What do you propose we do? Shino asked his first friend. Well, maybe we can invite her to come with us. It could cheer her up if we show her our support. Hinata made her suggestion, with a gentle tone. I don't mind. The more girls the merrier. Kiba says happily, liking the idea of another girl joining their small group. Don't make Hinata's kind gesture weird, Kiba. Sasuke says, with a deadpan look. Well, I don't mind either. This group could use another female member. Ino said with a confident smile. Then it's settled. But who's going to look for her? Shikamaru asked the group, hoping it's not him. Well, since I was the one who brought it up, I should go find her. And thankfully, it's still early, so we'll meet up later at Yakiniku-Q at 7 p.m. Naruto suggested. I'll go with you, Ino insisted. Ino then activated her mind transmission with Naruto, so they can speak in private for a moment. Don't trust me with another girl, do you? Naruto asked with a smile in his mind. No. I just don't trust the other girl with you. There's a difference. Ino said in her mind. She really hates herself for being the jealous type, but when her boyfriend looks like Naruto Senju, she can't help but feel worried and insecure sometimes. Come on Ino, you know we are just trying to help her, right? Naruto tries to reassure her. I know. But still, you shouldn't have to do it by yourself. And I want to help. Besides, maybe you and I can finally have some alone time. Ino said with a wink at the end. Hahaha, as you wish, milady. Naruto says with smile. He absolutely adores his cute blonde girlfriend. Ino then deactivates her jutsu, stopping the mind link between them. Alright, Ino and I will go find Shiho. We'll meet up with you guys later at 7. Naruto address all his friends. As the group went their separate ways, Naruto and Ino went to look for their glasses-wearing blonde classmate. 2 hours later. Naruto and Ino went by the academy first, asking around about Shiho. But no one had seen her since the exams. When someone told them that she was last seen talking to a Konoha Chunin instructor with white hair and a bandaged nose, that is when Naruto started to get real worried. He then sent out 20 of his shadow clones to scout around the village, and he even ordered one of them to inform the Hokage of his concerns. Hiruzen had already explained the secrets of the shadow clone jutsu to the blonde Senju. Once a shadow clone is dispelled, all the memories and everything the clone had experienced will return back to the original. Naruto thought the jutsu was an absolute masterpiece for training and scouting, especially for someone with his chakra reserves. But he puts that exciting thought on hold, as he continues to search for his classmate and the suspicious Chunin. But then, after feeling one his clones had dispelled itself all of the sudden, he received terrible news from it. Apparently, the clone overheard a bunch of Chunins mentioning that Shiho had stolen the scroll of seals from the Hokage's office. Hiruzen was in an important meeting with the council at the time, so it was an easy steal for the academy student. The village is now on high alert. Every shinobi above Genin rank was tasked to search for her and the scroll. Naruto quickly informs Ino, and the blonde pair immediately rushes to where the Senju could feel a small trace of Shiho's chakra signature, which led to a wooded area near the Konoha gate. Wooded area, 10 meters away from the Konoha gate. Are you sure this is where you felt Shiho's chakra, Naruto-kun? Ino asked the blonde Senju. Positive. But there is one way to be sure. Naruto then knelt down, and placed his index finger on the ground as he closes his eyes to concentrate. He was able to pinpoint 2 chakra signatures near them. One was a low Genin level, and the other was mid-Chunin level. Naruto snaps his eyes open, and quickly turned his head in the direction of the 2 people he found. Come on. I think I found her. Naruto said, before leading the Yamanaka to the location. As the blonde pair made their way to the area where Naruto had accurately suspected where Shiho and Mizuki are, the pair immediately hid behind a couple of trees, to witness the scene that was happening between the glasses-wearing blonde girl, who was standing on the ground with the scroll in hand, and the giant shuriken-wielding Chunin, who was standing above her on a tree branch. Well done, Shiho. Now hand over the scroll, and you will be a Genin. Mizuki said with a sinister grin. But Mizuki-sensei, I don't understand. Why was I being pursued by 2 Chunins earlier? Why do they think I stole the scroll? I thought you said this was a test. Shiho says fearfully, as she held the giant scroll tightly in her hands. Oh that. Well the thing is Shiho, you did stole the scroll, you idiot. Mizuki yelled out, his grin never leaving his smug face. What? Shiho asked out of shock. Hahaha, did you actually believe a talentless loser like you can ever be a Genin? I made the whole test up. Mizuki yelled out with a smirk. But why? Shiho asked, with tears starting to fall from her eyes. So you can steal the scroll of seals for me, of course. I knew you were so gullible that you would do anything, just to wear this stupid headband. Mizuki spat out, as he took off his headband and stomped on it. You lied to me, you used me. Shiho says, with more tears coming out of her eyes. Hahaha, of course I did. And all I have to do now, is kill you here, and pin your death on that damn demon. Mizuki says with his wide grin. Liking the idea of the demon boy who broke his nose, taking the fall as well. With Naruto and Ino. That son of a bitch. Ino practically want to yell out. Ino. Mind link. Now. Naruto says quickly, so they can strategize quietly. Ino then made a hand sign, and reconnected her mind with Naruto's. Okay, I'm going to create a shadow clone and have it substitute itself with Shiho. Once she is safe and here with us, I need you to take her, and get her as far away from here as you can. Naruto says with serious tone in his mind. What? No. I'm not leaving you to fight this manipulative bastard alone. I'm staying and fighting too. I mean, you heard what he said just now, did you? That son of bitch wants to frame you for her murder. Ino yelled out in her mind. Yes, I did. Which is why I'm going to break more parts of his stupid face. But more importantly, Shiho still needs one of us if she is ever going to get out of this alive. If she leaves with the scroll, alone, the other Chunins will kill her, if they catch her. But you, as a Konoha genin, can vouch for her, and explain to them the situation. Besides, if that bastard wants that demon, aka me, I'll be the perfect distraction for your escape. Naruto tried to rationalize as he explains his plan to her. Damn it, I hate it when you are right. Fine. Let's just do this. But, please be careful, Naruto-kun. Ino says, with worried tone in her mind. Of course, Ino-chan. You just make sure to keep Shiho safe. Naruto says with a smile. Naruto then made a single shadow clone right next to him, and had it transform into Shiho, for authenticity and believability that Mizuki will not know that she has outside help, before Naruto can perform his surprise attack. With Shiho and Mizuki. Mizuki then pulls out one of the two oversized shuriken from his back, and started twirling it around in the large ring in the middle. Shiho was still shell-shocked from the deception, and was paralyzed by the fear of about to be killed by her manipulative former instructor. Don't worry. You are doing Konoha a service. With your death, the demon will finally be killed. Goodbye, Shiho. Mizuki yelled out, before throwing the giant shuriken at the blonde girl. Shiho closes her eyes in fear, waiting for her untimely doom. Seeing this as his only chance, Naruto ordered his transformed clone to substitute with Shiho immediately. Shiho was still holding the scroll, so he managed to get them both to safety. The shuriken hits the transformed clone head-on, dispelling it and turning it into a cloud of smoke, which causes the treacherous Chunin's eyes to widen from confusion. Shiho opened her eyes, and saw Naruto and Ino in front of her, staring at her with worried eyes. Naruto-san? Ino-san? What are you doing here? Shiho asked, recognizing her two popular classmates. We're here to rescue you, Shiho. Now come on, we need to get you and the scroll to safety. Ino said with a calm and reassuring tone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Shiho says fearfully, ashamed for her naivety. We know. We heard everything. But don't worry, we'll make sure nothing happens to you. Naruto says with a reassuring smile. Ino then began to lead Shiho away from the site, but not before giving Naruto a small peck on the cheek for good luck. When Naruto noticed that the two blonde girls are now at a safe distance, he turns around and saw Mizuki, who was still looking around him in panic. Cursing and wondering where Shiho had suddenly disappeared to. Naruto then proceeded to quietly run up behind Mizuki, and made several quick hand seals. Water style, liquid bullet. Naruto spat out a surprisingly large orb of water from his mouth, to the back of the unsuspected Mizuki. The white-haired Chunin was caught off guard, and was sent flying from the tree branch he was standing on, and crashing onto the ground hard. Mizuki felt a lot pain around his body as he struggles to get up. The second oversized shuriken on his back was completely shattered, when the powerful water orb collided with it. The water ball would have broken his entire spine if it wasn't for the shuriken. Naruto then jumped down from where he was, and onto the ground, now face to face with the treacherous Chunin. Mizuki glared angrily at the Jinchuriki before him. Why is the demon here, he wonders. But nevertheless, a smirk appeared on his face, as he had finally been given the golden opportunity to kill the demon boy himself. Well, if it isn't Naruto, Senju. Still pretending to be a hero again, are you? Mizuki said with an arrogant smirk. What do you mean by pretend, you prick? Shiho is safe, and you will never hurt her again. Naruto said with a calm voice. Ha ha ha, you pretend, because you can't be a hero, you demon. Mizuki yelled out in disgust. If I'm a demon, then what are you, Mizuki? What kind of monster turns a student's trust into deception? I heard everything you told Shiho, you bastard. But I still don't understand your reasons. Why steal the scroll? Naruto says calmly, with a deadpan look at his former Chunin instructor. Ha 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 ha, I am a man of ambition, Naruto, not a monster like you. And with the scroll of seals, I will finally gain the power I deserve, when I personally deliver it to Lord Orochimaru. Mizuki says with an evil grin. Orochimaru? The traitor? Well, I guess it takes one to know one. Naruto says, trying to calm the boiling rage that is building up in his blood. You call him a traitor, but it was this damn village who betrayed his genius. Lord Orochimaru was able to see the future. And it is beautiful. A future where he will be the most powerful being in the world, and rule everything with an iron fist. And I, Mizuki, will be there by his side. He will reward my loyalty with more power. There is no power far greater than Lord Orochimaru. Mizuki says with a smirk, proud of his treachery and lust for power. Careful, Mizuki. If you keep stroking his imaginary cock, he'll jizz all over your broken nose. Naruto said with his own smirk. You disrespectful brat. You will pay for disrespecting Lord Orochimaru. Mizuki yelled out. Mizuki was gritting his teeth in anger, but then his mouth turns into an evil grin, as he now knows the best way to break the boy's spirit before he kills him. Tell me, Naruto, have you ever wondered why the people in village hated you so much? Why they treated you with such anger and disgust? You see, the third Hokage made a S-rank law, for everyone to not tell you the truth. A simple truth, of what you really are. Mizuki continues, with the same grin never leaving his face. And that is? Naruto asked with a bored tone, feeling he already knows the answer. The truth is, you are the nine-tailed demon fox. Mizuki yelled out, with a satisfied smug face. Yeah, so? Naruto said, with a bored tone. What? You knew? Mizuki was shocked, as the boy was completely unfazed by the supposed spirit-breaking news. You know, I have been keeping this in, for a long time now. Maybe this is a rare opportunity for me, to finally let it all out. Naruto says with tired voice. The right term is Jinchuki. I am the Jinchuki of the Kyuubi, not the Nine-Tails himself, you stupid, ignorant, prejudiced, son of bitch. Naruto suddenly yelled out with a second voice, in the end, like Kurama was yelling alongside him, which causes the white-haired Chunin's face to turn pale. I didn't ask to be the container of the Nine-Tails. But I am. And you know what? I am proud. Because the fourth chose me. Because he believed in me. He gave his life. To protect worthless, ungrateful scum like you. And you have the audacity to betray his village. My village. And you dare call me a monster, when you tried to kill an innocent girl after you lied to her face. Naruto is finally letting out all of his pent-up anger and frustrations, to the treacherous Chunin. Mizuki was silenced, as he could literally feel a large sense of fear building up in him. Naruto then took a deep breath to calm himself down. I can forgive many things, Mizuki. But not this. Not you. Because you have crossed the fucking line. Naruto then proceeded to make several unique hand seals and slammed his hand on the ground. Ice style, frozen capturing field. The ground underneath Mizuki started to freeze, as he is now trapped ankle deep in a thick block of chakra-infused ice. What the, you have a Kekkei Genkai? Mizuki yelled out, in a state of intense panic and shock. But Naruto ignores his question. As he continues to glare at the treacherous Chunin with a deadpan look. Former Chunin Mizuki. For breaking the S-rank law of the third Hokage, attempted murder of an innocent, grand theft and high treason. I, Naruto Senju, Genin of Konoha, sentence you to die. Do you have any last words? Naruto says with a calm and monotone voice. No. Don't you dare, you damn demo. Mizuki didn't get to finish his last sentence. Thought so. Naruto then performed several hand seals, and took a deep breath. Wind style, vacuum bullets. Naruto then blew out several pressurized bullet-sized air at the trapped white-haired traitor. The bullets traveled in an extremely high velocity, as they pierced through Mizuki's vulnerable flesh. Multiple holes were now developing on Mizuki's stomach, chest, thighs, shoulders and neck. He was screaming in agonizing pain until he finally stopped. Mizuki's body fell lifelessly on the icy ground beneath him, as buckets of blood were pouring out of his body. The ice field was then released and dissolved into water, leaving no trace of Naruto's Hyoton. As soon as the adrenaline faded, Naruto had finally realized what he had done. He had just killed someone. He had just made his first kill. And it was a very violent one. Feeling sick to his stomach, Naruto knelt down and threw up a little. His hands were shaky, as tears were starting to fall from his eyes. For the first time in his life, he had never been so disgusted in himself. He was now a killer. He then felt a soft hand gently landing onto his shoulder. Naruto turned around and saw Ino standing over him, with a sad look on her face. Seeing her loving boyfriend crying because of what he to do, made her want to cry as well. She said nothing, as she then knelt down to his size, and embraced him in a tight hug. Naruto returns the hug, as he continues to cry on her shoulder. It's okay Naruto-kun. It's okay. Ino whispers in Naruto's ear, as she gently rubs his back. Trying to comfort her precious paramour the best she can. Hokage's office, 1 hour later. Naruto, Ino and Shiho are now standing before the third Hokage. Shiho manages to explain her side of the story, and both Naruto and Ino were able to vouch for her, as they were the witnesses to the whole situation. Hiruzen of course, forgave and pardoned Shiho for her indirect crimes against the village, and says she will not be held responsible for anything that has happened. You may all leave now. Except for you Naruto, I have a few things to discuss with you, Hiruzen says to the blonde trio. Ino and Shiho respectfully bowed their heads to the leader of their village. Before they left, Ino turns to look at Naruto. We'll be right outside okay, Ino told the blonde Senju, before she and Shiho exited the room and closed the door behind them. Leaving Naruto alone with the Hokage. Naruto-kun. I know what happened was very difficult for you. By all rights, and as a shinobi of Konoha, you had every authority to execute Mizuki for his actions. But, by doing it at such a young age, I know it can't be easy. Hiruzen asked out of concern. It wasn't sensei, I really feel like shit right now. Naruto says, with a depressive tone. Killing an enemy and learning to live with it, is the way of the shinobi Naruto-kun. There are always going to be bad people who deserves death. But for those who are strong enough to take their lives, should never dwell. As they need to live on with their own life. Hiruzen says, trying to reassure his grandson figure. Yes, sensei. Naruto answers, but a bit hesitant. Still unsure if he did what was necessary. I saw and heard everything by the way. After your shadow clone informed me, I kept a close eye on you and Mizuki with my telescope jutsu. Thanks to you, his arrogance has revealed his true intentions for the scroll of seals. Hiruzen said with a grim tone. Orochimaru, Naruto said, with a bit of venom in his voice, at the mention of the snake, who tormented his big sister figure Anko. ****, every time I hear that name, I think of all the people that Snake had tortured and killed. It was because of my weakness to not kill my old student, more people had suffered. And more will continue to suffer because he still draws breath. I am not a perfect Hokage Naruto-kun. I never was. I am a foolish old man, who made so many mistakes. So many decisions, I was forced to make for the good of the village that I am not proud of. Hiruzen says with a little more sadness at the last sentence, thinking about his recent decision regarding a certain clan. But making you my new apprentice was the best decision I have ever made. I still believe you can achieve great things, my boy. For yourself and the world. And as your sensei, I only ask that you learn from my mistakes, and use this as an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. The will of fire is strong in you, Naruto-kun, and you must continue to fan its flames, to light the path of a bright future. Hiruzen says, with a gentle smile, to his blonde apprentice. Yes, sensei, Naruto said with his own smile, feeling that he needed to hear what his sensei had told him. Now, I will place this Mizuki business as your first S-rank assassination mission. You will be paid with an S-rank salary, but you mustn't disclose the details of the mission to anyone, is that understood? Hiruzen says strictly at the blonde. Yes, sensei, Naruto said with an enthusiastic salute. Which causes the old Hokage to laugh a little. Is there anything else I can do for you, my boy? Hiruzen asked his grandson figure. Actually, there is one thing you could do for me. With Naruto, Ino, and Shiho, outside the Hokage tower. What? Naruto-san, are you sure? Shiho asked, shocked to hear what the blonde Senju had informed her. Yes, Shiho. From this point on, you are officially a genin of Konoha, Naruto says with a bright smile as he handed her a Konoha headband. But I didn't pass the exams, Shiho says a bit dejected, feeling like she did not deserve the rank. True, but judging from your level of intelligence and skills in code breaking, the Hokage is willing to make a special exception for you. But instead of a genin team, you will be placed in the Cypher Corp, where you can put your talents to good use for the sake of the village. I hope that is okay with you. Naruto asked, hoping she will not be too disappointed of not being put on a genin team like everyone else. Naruto-san, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. Shiho says with grateful smile, with some happy tears threatening to fall from her eyes. Yeah, Naruto-kun, that's actually very nice of you. Ino says proudly, for her boyfriend's generosity and kindness to others. Everyone deserves a chance to prove themselves, Shiho. You may not be the strongest kunoichi in our class, but there are other ways to be the best you can be. And I know it's not what you originally wanted, but I believe you will be a valued asset to the Cypher Corporation. Naruto says with a hopeful smile. This is more than I can ask for. Thank you so much, Naruto-san. I don't know how to repay you. Shiho asked, feeling very grateful for the blonde Senju's kind consideration of her. Well, Ino-chan and I are going to meet up with our friends at Yanikaku-Q for a little celebration dinner of finally becoming genin. And we would love for you to join us. Naruto said with a smile, which surprises the glasses-wearing blonde girl. You want me to hang out with you guys? Shiho asked shyly and hesitantly, feeling Naruto and his friends had always been on a completely different league than her, during the academy. Yeah, Shiho, it'll be fun. Besides, our group could use another girl. There are too many boys around, and half the girls, myself included, already thinks Naruto-kun is super cute, but you don't, do you? Ino asked nervously, hoping she didn't accidentally add one of her boyfriend's fangirls to their group. Naruto-san is handsome, yes. But I don't think I see him that way. No offense, Naruto-san. Shiho said honestly. None taken, Shiho. Naruto said nonchalantly. Wait, you don't like Naruto-kun that way? Ino asked with dumbfounded voice, as her face is now inches away from Shiho. I'm no sorry, Shiho says with nervous laughter. But then Shiho was suddenly embraced with a tight hug from the platinum blonde girl, who was crying happy anime tears. Shiho. You are my new best friend. Ino yelled out, as she continues to hug the glasses-wearing blonde. While Naruto laughs at his girlfriend's antics, of finally finding another female friend, aside from Hinata, that doesn't see him in a romantic way, the blonde Senju was very happy that he was able to help Shiho achieve her goal to become a genin. seeing her happiness, was able to lift the guilt of Mizuki's execution of his shoulders. Mizuki was a true monster that could have ended this intelligent and promising girl's young life without a second thought. He now knew he did the right thing. And if he had to do it all over again, he would. He will not repeat his sensei's mistake by showing his weakness to a traitor. Konoha is his home, his friends are his family. If anyone dares threaten their safety, he will show them no mercy. This is the way of the shinobi. Hokage Tower, Genin Registration Room. After Naruto had finished taking his ID picture for his shinobi identification file, he went straight to the Hokage Tower to deliver them to his dear old Gigi. Hiruzen is now sitting behind a long desk, between Iruka and another Chunin. He is currently reviewing the files of all of this year's graduates, to determine which potential Genin belong to which team. Many of this year's graduates are clan heirs and heiress that has great potential to become strong shinobis and kunoichis of Konoha. Many have their own unique talents and strengths, but regardless, they are still children that requires Jonin supervision, training, guidance and field experiences if they are ever going to survive. Luckily for them, this is not a time of war. Yet. But there are still many dangers they could encounter the second they leave the safety of their village, such as criminals, bandits or worse, enemy or rogue ninja. When Hiruzen opened Naruto's file and saw his picture, he couldn't help but be reminded of his first successor, Minato Namikaze/Senju. Naruto looks so much like his father now. Minato was a strong and powerful shinobi, but he was tragically taken away from the world at such a young age. He had a very promising life ahead of him. He had a beautiful wife who he adores till the end, and a wonderful son that they could have loved and raised together. Hiruzen felt very concerned for his blonde grandson figure. The day has finally come for him to test his capabilities in the real world. While he does not doubt his apprentice's skills and intelligence, but due to past unforeseen tragedies, Hiruzen no longer has the luxury of never worrying about his precious shinobis. His blonde successor and his former sadistic student were prime examples for it. But when Hiruzen sees Naruto standing before him, with his big violet eyes full of hope and determination, the old Hokage couldn't help but smile and felt a great sense of ease in his heart. Naruto is the most dedicated person he has ever met, and thanks to his long years of training, he has become a fine young shinobi. All Hiruzen could do right now, as a sensei and Hokage, is have faith in his blonde grandson figure. Naruto, I hope you know that I am very proud of you, my boy. You showed great potential as a Konoha shinobi. And given your recent incident yesterday, you showed that you know how to handle any given situation with the utmost necessity. Hiruzen said to the blonde, his voice filled with pride. Iruka couldn't help but look down at what the Hokage had mentioned about the incident. Like every other Chunin, he had heard what Mizuki attempted to do yesterday, and Iruka couldn't help but feel responsible for the traitor's actions. There was a dangerous snake in his midst, and he let it slip past him under his nose. If it wasn't for Naruto, Shiho would have been killed, and that scroll of seals would have been lost. Iruka then made a mental note to thank his former blonde student by treating him to more ramen. Haha, thank you, Sarutobi-sensei. It means a lot coming from you. I promise I won't let you down. Naruto said with a bright smile to his Gigi, before giving a respectful bow. Suddenly, the door behind Naruto was slammed open, and a little boy wearing a yellow shirt and a long blue scarf came storming in with a shuriken in hand. Out of instinct, Naruto took out his kunai and threw it towards the middle ring on the boy's shuriken, to disarm him. Alright, old man. Time for... The small boy didn't get to finish his sentence, as the shuriken in his hand was instantly snatched from his fingers, and pinned to the wall behind him, by a kunai. The boy was in complete shock from the sudden movement, as he tripped on his own scarf, and crashed down on his face. Konohamaru! What do you think you are doing? Iruka yelled out. Naruto, will you please help my grandson up? Also, did you really have to throw a kunai at him? Hiruzen asked. What? It was a reflex. I can't help it. Besides, I was aiming for the shuriken anyway, so no big deal. Naruto answered. Fair enough, Hiruzen admitted. Naruto then walks up the now identified Konohamaru, as he offered his hand to the small boy. Hello there. You must be Konohamaru. Sarutobi-sensei has told me so much about you. I'm Naruto, by the way. It's nice to finally meet you. Naruto says with a calm tone, and gave a warm smile to the little boy. Konohamaru stared at the blonde in front of him, with awe and admiration in his eyes. He has never met anyone near his age that was so cool in his life. The way Naruto disarmed him so easily was a small example of his awesomeness. That was so cool. From this point on, you will be my boss. Teach me the ways of your coolness. Konohamaru says, with stars in his eyes. And you want me to be your boss? Naruto asked, confused at what the boy wanted. Yes. So I can be just as cool as you, and beat the old man and become Hokage. Konohamaru says, with a confident tone. Naruto didn't like the way the small boy is addressing his sensei/Gigi. Granted, Hiruzen is the little boy's actual Gigi, but it is clear to Naruto that whoever is teaching the small boy is not teaching him the right things. There are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage, especially something as foolish as being cool, or defeating the current Hokage with blunt shuriken. Naruto wonders who this bad teacher is. Honorable grandson. There you are. What are you, Lord Hokage? Forgive me for the intrusion. I merely turn around and... says the shades wearing special Jonin. Naruto recognizes that special Jonin as Ebisu. Now it finally made sense to the blonde. Naruto absolutely hated Ebisu. While he respected the man's talent for training others, but that is all he is actually good for. When it comes to his actual skills as a shinobi, it is very less than desirable. And to top it off, he keeps boasting about them like he was an elite like Kakashi. Naruto also hated the fact that he looked down on him when they first met. Ebisu may not be among the prejudiced villagers who hated Naruto because of the Kyuubi, but instead he thought Naruto was a worthless nuisance, and mocked his dream of becoming Hokage, as he believes that only people of high lineage could amount to anything. Like Konohamaru. But that was when he thought Naruto's last name was still Uzumaki. When Naruto told him that he is a Senju now, Ebisu turned completely pale. When he heard Naruto is the Hokage's newest apprentice, he almost had a heart attack. Ever since, Ebisu has been a complete kiss-ass to the blonde Senju, just because of his lineage. Acting like the disrespect he showed him never happened. Ah, Senju-sama, it is good to see you again, Ebisu said with bow, which causes Naruto to roll his eyes, while Hiruzen and Iruka cringe from the brow-nosing display. No need to apologize, Ebisu. Naruto, you may head back to the academy now. Best you don't be late for your Ginin team placement. Hiruzen say to his blonde apprentice. Oh right. Almost forgot. See you later, sensei. Nice meeting you, Konohamaru. Naruto waves goodbye, before made single hand sign and shunshin away from the room. Kakashi had finally taught Naruto one of his most desired jutsus. Naruto managed to land a small hit on Kakashi a year ago during their weekly spars. But it was partly thanks to Enko, as she keeps distracting Kakashi with some provocative poses to tease her silver-haired boyfriend regarding their upcoming romantic plans. Kakashi felt neither ashamed or defeated after that day. Wow! He is so cool! Konohamaru said with awe in voice, admiring his new boss even more now. Honorable grandson. Senju-sama has always been an excellent shinobi. In fact, I have always believed in him, and have no doubt he will become Hokage someday. So it is best that you follow my teachings, if you want to become just like him. Ebisu said with a proud smirk as he adjusted his shades. Both Hiruzen and Iruka glared at the special Jonin with a deadpan look. Both men are fully aware that Ebisu only respects Naruto now because he is a Senju. Hiruzen made a mental note to rethink his decision of ever considering promoting such a weasel to his Jonin ranks. Shinobi Academy, Iruka's classroom. All of the young graduates looked very excited. They are still considered graduates, and not yet full-fledged genins, because unbeknownst to them, they still have one more test to pass. Sasuke was sitting/brooding next to Hinata, while Shikamaru was sleeping on his desk behind them, next to Choji, who was munching on a bag of chips. Naruto arrives via Shunshin, in the middle in the class, which caught the attention of his classmates. "Show off," Sasuke said with a scoff. But he too wanted to learn that jutsu for its conveniences. "Correction, I'm a showman. In fact, I'm the greatest showman," Naruto said with a smirk, as he sat next to Sasuke. Hi, good morning, Naruto-kun. Hinata says. "Good morning, Hinata. I hope I'm not late, am I?" Naruto asked. "You are right on time, Naruto-kun. Don't worry, not everyone has arrived yet." Hinata reassures. Oh yeah. Where's Ino and Sakura?" Naruto wonders. "Speak of the devils." Suddenly they all felt a small earthquake of many footsteps quickly approaching the class's back door, along with a few screeches from several young females. Ino and Sakura came crashing through the back door, with the rest of the other girls behind them, arguing who had arrived first. "Ha! I win, no pig. Which means I get to sit with Naruto Kun. As if, billboard brow. I was totally the first one." While the two girls continued their childish argument, Naruto couldn't help but feel embarrassed, while the rest of his friends looked annoyed. Sasuke in particular. "Does Sakura even know that you and Ino are together?" Sasuke asked with a tick mark on his head, and a monotone voice. "No? Well, I don't think so. I mean, I am just as surprised as you, that she hasn't figured it out yet." Naruto says. "Naruto, you and Ino were holding hands last week when you walked her home, for crying out loud. And I think I saw you guys kissed," Shikamaru added in with drowsy tone. "On the cheek, then on the lips, when no one was looking," Naruto says, rubbing the back of his head sheepishly at the last part. "No one likes a tease, dobe. Just let the poor girl know that you and Ino are together already. Hell, let everyone know. It might be amusing to see these fangirls' hopes crushed." Sasuke said with a smirk at the end. He just thanks God that Hinata wasn't a fangirl. "That's kind of cruel, Sasuke. Look, I will tell her, okay? It's just not that easy to tell someone, who is one of your closest friends, that you don't want to be with them. And yeah, I feel terrible that I didn't tell her sooner, I admit that. But Ino and I didn't really want everyone knowing about us yet. The reason you guys know, is because we always hang out together, and you could tell the obvious. And I'm not a tease, Teimei." Naruto yelled out to his Uchiha best friend. Whatever, dobe. But I'm telling you, the longer you wait, the harder it will be." Sasuke said with a surprisingly concerned voice. I know. But not today, please. Today is supposed to be a great day, remember? You know, when we are finally being put on a genin team, and becoming real ninjas? So let's not mention my love life and spoil it, shall we?" Naruto says in a matter of fact. Iruka then walks into the classroom, after returning from the Hokage tower. He is now holding a clipboard with the list of teams that has already been decided by the third Hokage. Meanwhile, Hokage's office. Hiruzen had called upon all of his Konoha Jonins to his office, for a supposed short briefing, regarding team selections and placements. But thanks to a certain purpled-haired Kunoichi, the briefing was anything but short. "What do you mean, Kakashi, and I can't be Naruto's sensei? Come on, old man. I'm finally a Jonin now. And I want my Gaki on my genin team," yelled by the very angry Anko Mitarashi as she waves her arms around. Special Jonin cough says slyly, by the newly promoted Jonin and best friend of the purple-haired Kunuchi, Kurenai Yuhi. "Shut up, Kurenai. Anko yelled back at her friend with an embarrassed blush. She still can't believe that she was only promoted to Special Jonin just because of her lack of tactical skills during her Jonin exams, while the Genjutsu mistress became a full-fledged Jonin. But Kurenai is not wrong, Anko. You need to be a Jonin to have a Genin team. But more importantly, even if you are, the fact that you and Kakashi already have a PR existing relationship with Naruto, I don't believe you can be objective when it comes to him or his training. Also, it would be unfair to the other two Genins if you showed favoritism towards him. It's the same reason why I have not placed Hinata Hyuga in Kurenai's team. Hiruzen says to the purple-haired Kunoichi. Favoritism? Well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Anko says with a deadpan look. Burn were the thoughts of the other Jonins, as Anko managed to burn their respected leader. If you're referring to my old treacherous student and your bastard of a sensei, then I won't disagree. But my decision is final. But rest assured that Naruto's training will be placed in the capable hands of Asuma. I'm sure Naruto will be taught well under him. Hiruzen said as he looked at his Jonin son with confidence, and was able to finish with a reassuring tone. He knows very well that Anko sees his blonde apprentice as a precious little brother figure. Same can be said for Kakashi. Anko pouted her cheeks in frustration and suddenly disappeared in great speed. Reappearing behind Kakashi, as she cutely jumps on his back, with her hands on his shoulders, her breasts pressing against him, while her legs looked numb on the floor. Kashi Kyuen. You must carry me from now on. I can't feel my legs. Not only you and I have been denied to be our Gaki's sensei, but our dear old Hokage has gone senile. We must move away. Take our Gaki and start our own village together. And we shall call it Anko Town. A wonderful place, where no one can tell us that we cannot be our Gaki's sensei. Anko says overdramatically, with some sad anime tears for her misplaced yet passionate declaration. Now, don't be so dramatic, Anko-chan. Besides, you hate teaching. Why would you want to be a Jonin sensei anyway? Kakashi asked his overdramatic and not-so-secret girlfriend. I don't mind if it's with the Gaki, shit, I am playing favorites. Fine, you win, old man. Anko finally admits defeat, as she realizes that she will no doubt show favoritism for Naruto. Anko, please behave yourself. And for Pete's sake, get off Kakashi. Kurenai said with a tired sigh, feeling her immature friend can be a tad inappropriate sometimes. But Anko sees this as an opportunity to tease her raven-haired friend. Why? Jealous? Unlike you, I proudly embrace my big strong man. Isn't that right, Kashi-kun? Anko says with a smirk, and felt a sense of satisfaction when she saw Kurenai and her suspected boyfriend Asuma Sarutobi blush their cheeks red. She's not wrong though, Kakashi says with an eye smile, as he slyly supports his girlfriend's teasing of his fellow Jonin senseis. I don't know what you are talking about. Kurenai says with deeper, embarrassed blush on her cheeks, as she looks away from the weird pair. An appropriate nickname that was given to the two most disturbed individuals in Konoha, Anko and Kakashi. Hi, nailed it, Anko says, with a victorious smirk. That's enough. Let us move on to more pressing matters, please. Now I would like only Kakashi, Asuma and Kurenai to remain, while the rest of you are dismissed. And since you still refuse to let go of Kakashi, I suppose you can stay too, Anko. Hiruzen addressed all of his Jonins. Yay! Anko says as she happily pumps her fist in the air, while still clinging on Kakashi like a life raft. Maybe she wasn't kidding when she said that she cannot feel her legs. As all the other Jonins and special Jonins left the Hokage's office, Hiruzen can finally discuss with the 3+1 Jonins in front of him. I am sure you are all wondering why I select these particular Genins on your teams. Well, the keyword is simple: balance. While I had originally planned to choose one team with one specific specialties, such as an assault team, a tracking team, and a team specializing in stalling, such as the next Inoshikacho. But after giving some thoughts, I realized that formation is completely flawed, especially for a team of inexperienced genins. Each team needs one and the other. Specifically, each team should have an assault specialist for muscle, a tracking specialist for locating targets, while the third member can be for support. Whether it's medical or long range, Hiruzen explains. Forgive me, Lord Hokage. But can you explain to us more as to why for this team placement? Kurenai asked. According to Academy reports, Naruto Senju and Sasuke Uchiha are the prime candidates for this year's Rookie of the Year, while Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga and Ino Yamanaka are not too far behind them. There are 4 genins among the Chose 9 that have sensory abilities. One will be distributed on each team, while one team will have the advantage of having 2. Hiruzen explains. 4. I understand the Hyuga girl, the Inuzuka and the Aburame boys, but who's the 4th sensor? Asked Asuma. That will be Naruto Senju. I will say no more regarding his skills, as you will soon find out for yourself Asuma, but during his training sessions with me and Kakashi, I can safely say he's a talented sensor and a capable ninjutsu specialist. Hinata Hyuga will be the sensor of Team 7, while Kiba Inuzuka and Shino Aburame will be for Team 8. Hiruzen says, before he continued. Furthermore, it was the council's decision for Sasuke Uchiha to be taught under Kakashi, as to help him train and advance his Sharingan's progress, once he awakens them. And for once I agree with the council, but not for the same reasons. Naruto-kun and Hinata-san had greatly pulled Sasuke away from his dark desires for revenge. And thanks to them, he has become more warm towards others. And as much as I want those 3 to be on the same team together, the balance of power will not be equal to the rest. Which is why Sasuke and Hinata-san will be placed on Team 7 with Kakashi, while Naruto-kun will be placed on Team 10 with Asuma, as he has been reported to be strongest of the 3. Hiruzen says, with a bit of pride in his voice. Forgive me again, Lord Hokage, but I can't help but feel like I got the short end of the stick here. Kurenai asked dejectedly, as she didn't get neither of the 3 strongest in this year's Genin graduates. She still very much prefers to have Hinata on her team. I'm sorry you feel that way, Kurenai. But don't sell your students short yet. Shino is reported to be the 3rd best male shinobi, and Kiba has one of the best taijutsu skills in their class. Sakura Haruno is quite a clever girl herself, and she is highly skilled with chakra control. With your guidance, I believe she can be a formidable genjutsu specialist like you. Hiruzen says. I see, Kurenai simply says, still feeling a little dejected. But the idea of having her own genjutsu apprentice lifted her spirits. She always believed that the art of genjutsu has always been underrated among shinobis. And she would be more than happy to pass on her knowledge to the next generation. And before you accuse me of favoritism, again, Anko. Given that Hinata, Choji, Shino and Kiba have their own respective clans to lean back on when it comes to their training progress, that will give Kakashi and Kurenai enough time to help Sasuke and Sakura improve on their individual skills. Hiruzen tries to rationalize, as the last loyal Uchiha and the civilian-born Kunoichi do not have anyone else to train them aside from their Jonin senseis. Unless Kashi-kun here fail those 3 like the other rejects. Anko says with a smirk, as she remembers all the previous teams that Kakashi failed during their teamwork exercise. If there are no other questions, you are all dismissed. Hiruzen says to the 4 Jonins in front of him. As they are all about to leave, one of them decided stay and asked the Hokage a question. Dad, can I have a word with you for a moment? Asuma asked his father. Very well, Asuma. The rest of you can leave. Hiruzen says, as everyone else had cleared the room. I'll get to the point. Not that I have anything against Naruto or anything, I mean I heard he's a really good kid. But I was actually looking forward to teaching the next generation of the Ino Shikacho. Besides, Ino Yamanaka is probably a censor already, given which clan she is from. And if you're worried about the muscle of the team, Choji Akimichi can cover that for sure. Asuma explained. I understand your reasons, Asuma-kun. In another time, I would very much agree with you. But it seems that you still do not know much about Choji, or your future students. Hiruzen says, before he continues on. Ino is from the Yamanaka clan, yes, but according to the reports I received from her father and the academy, her skills and sensory are still unexplored, and she is more interested in combat than tracking. Probably from Naruto's influence. Hiruzen added with a chuckle. Choji may be an Akimichi, but during his time in the academy, both his confidence and offensive capabilities are still lacking. His kindness has always been his greatest quality as a person, but as a shinobi, it could be presented as a terrible weakness. So I'm hoping with Sasuke as a comrade, and someone he can look up to, and with Hinata who can always support him, I have no doubt, he will improve eventually with them. Hiruzen said confidently. Naruto on the other hand, is a highly capable sensor and combat shinobi. And with Naruto and Ino's enthusiastic energy, I am confident that they will be able to help motivate Shikamaru out of his infamous Nara laziness. And from what I heard, these three work very well together. I'm sure they will surprise you. Hiruzen says. If you feel strongly about this, Dad, then I'll give it a shot. But I'm not going to pull my punches with Naruto, just so you know. If the rumors about him are true, I don't think I have the luxury of doing so. He was your apprentice after all. Asuma says with smile, as he light up the cigarette in his mouth. Back to Academy, Iruka's classroom. Iruka is now standing before the Genin hopefuls as he has already listed out the first 6 teams. It was until the 7th, that Naruto and his friends had finally paid attention. Next up is Team 7. Sasuke Uchiha. This was when half the girls in the class had given their full attention. But none was more nervous than a certain Hyuga girl. Please, 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 Hinata thought with her eyes closed, hoping she will be on her crush's team. Choji Akimichi. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I was really hoping Sasuke-kun and I can. Hinata thought with a dejected feeling. And Hinata Hyuga. Eek, Hinata was blushing red when she heard her name. She was practically dancing in her mind, but was embarrassed at the same time. She was unable to contain her growing blush when Sasuke looked at her with a rare happy smile. He was truly happy that he gets to be on the same team with his closest friend. The other girls in the class sigh in disappointment, after hearing the Hyuga heiress will be the last Uchiha's teammate. But surprisingly, they were not that disappointed. Because there was still a hotter guy that they would kill to be on the same team with. That was when Naruto was starting to feel very uncomfortable, when he could literally sense all the hopeful eyes of his fangirls on him. Ino was practically praying to every single god she knows, to let her be on the same team with her precious Naruto-kun. After hearing Choji's name, it was clear to her that there will be no Inoshikacho team placement. So there is a chance for her to be on his team. Team 8 will consist of Shino Aburame, Kiba Inuzuka, and Sakura Haruno. NOO, came from the disappointed yell of a certain pink-haired kunoichi. Ino was practically giddy, and was laughing out loud in her mind. Team 9 is still currently active. Now on to Team 10. Naruto Senju. This was the moment they have been waiting for. Every fangirl was sitting on the edge of their seats. The class was dead silent. Any noise made was instantly hushed by their angry glares. They were holding on their breaths like they had forgotten to breath. Shikamaru Nara. Naruto was actually happy that he gets to team up with his lazy best friend. He and Shikamaru high-fived each other after small woohoo from Naruto, while the lazy Nara still looked drowsy, but was still paying attention to the team placement. Don't mind transfer sensei. Don't mind transfer sensei. Don't mind transfer sensei. Oh God. What if that is my only chance? Ino was working really hard to fight off her bad instincts. Oh no. Naruto-kun and I will be placed on different teams. What if the kunoichi on his team is pretty? What if Naruto-kun falls in love with her? What if we break up because we haven't spent a lot of time together anymore? No. Not my whiskers. Please God, just let us be together. Ino was practically crying anime tears at this point. And Ino Yamanaka. The class was dead silent once again. All the fangirls, including Sakura, and especially Ino, had their eyes wide open and their jaws dropped, after what Iruka just said. Ino slowly turns her head to look at the handsome blonde sitting beside her, with her mouth still slightly open. He looked back at her with a happy smile. Naruto was very happy that he gets to be on the same team with not only his best friend but his girlfriend too. That's great, right, Ino-chan? You, me, and… Naruto didn't get to finish his sentence, as Ino suddenly grabs him by the collar and pulls him in for a kiss on the lips. She just couldn't take it anymore. Loki be damned. Everyone, not just the fangirls, everyone was completely shocked from the sudden public display of affection. Ino then broke the kiss between them, leaving a blushing mess Naruto in state of shock and confusion. She had just exposed their relationship to everyone. Ino? Naruto asked with the blush never leaving his face. Naruto-kun is mine. He has always been mine. I don't care anymore. It was hardly a secret anyway. And if any of you bitches try anything, I will burn you and turn your minds to puddle. Ino yelled out with carefree confidence tone in her voice. Her cheeks were blushing red, as she wraps her arms around Naruto's neck while resting her head on his chest when she proudly announced their relationship. What? All the fangirls yell out in unison, including Sakura. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Fangirls' hopes crushed. It's hysterical. I need to remind myself to thank Ino later, Sasuke thought with a smirk. I really wish I have that level of confidence, Hinata thought, as she too wanted to do the same thing with the Uchiha boy next to her. Troublesome blonde Shikamaru thought with a satisfied smirk. Was Naruto-san and Ino-san's relationship a secret? I find that very unlikely, Shino, though, with his logic. You stud. Ino may be a loudmouth, but she is smoking hot. You have my respect for life, Naruto. Kiba thought, mentally high-fiving Naruto. I'm just surprised she didn't do that sooner, Choji though, as he continues to munch on his bag of chips. What the hell is happening in my class here? Iruka asked, no one in particular in his mind. Okay, that concludes teams 1 to 10. Now we'll move on to teams 11 to 15. Iruka says, trying to move on from the very awkward situation of his favorite student being kissed by the loud Yamanaka girl. But nobody paid further attention to the scarred Chunin anymore, as the girls glared angrily at Ino, while some of the boys were glaring looks of jealousy at Naruto. The blonde Senju had just received a hot kiss from the most prettiest girl in their class, and they had been together all along. Hinata is a close second, as she is mostly considered to be very cute than pretty. But Ino couldn't care less. Her dear Whiskers is on her team, and she couldn't be any more happier, as she continues to hug him without a care in the world. It was an absolute dream come true for the both of them to be on the same team. Naruto also couldn't help but smile at the possibility. Every adventures they will have, and every dangers they will face it together, because they will always be together. Looks like they are able to keep their promises to each other after all. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this what if and want to see next part of it, comment down below and let me know. Also share this video with your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.